All right, so what we have here is the entrance to one of our hives. You can see that nice little knot of bees there. They are guarding and protecting the entrance because it's a warm January day and we're actually have quite a bit of foraging going on. That means bees, not only from this hive, but for other hives, are out looking for food. And while this hive, here we see a bee with some pollen in its baskets. This hive is definitely bringing in quite a bit of pollen, and you'll see other bees are arriving and landing with those same yellow baskets. There are other hives close by where the bees could show up and attempt to rob this hive. So the bees they're protecting the entrance against that happening. Now, pollen this time of year is very important. Pollen is needed to for the queen to lay eggs, for them to raise brood. Think of it as protein, whereas the nectar, think of almost like carbohydrates. Both are crucial, both are essential. Oh, I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you can rewind, Chris. There, a bee just went in there. One just went in. She had the most beautiful, it looked like red pollen. If you could back that up and show that again in slow motion. There's some nice gold, but most of what we're seeing is this pale yellow, which is possibly likely from hazel. But I digress. That pollen's needed to raise brood. And on this warm January day, they are piling it in here. They're packing it in. So what does that mean? Well, that can possibly trigger the queen to start laying eggs. It's early. It's the end of January, but it still very well could happen. I mean, by basically from December 21st, the shortest day of the year on, the days start getting more and more light. And so she becomes more and more focused on laying eggs until June 21st, the summer solstice. And she could be gearing up. Now this hive, I've did the field test, hefted it on the back. It still has plenty of resources, but if they continue to be able to bring pollen in for the next month, I could suddenly be looking at a huge population explosion, say end of February or beginning of March, and we could look at a hive that would very rapidly deplete its resources and starve to death before the spring flowers can show up and start rendering a forage. So a lot of people don't know this, but there's another one with that red pollen. I don't know what that is this time of year. If anyone has a clue, I'm in the mid-Atlantic states. I don't recall ever seeing, this is my third year beekeeping, I don't recall ever seeing that red pollen like that this time of year. But if you have an idea what it might be, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. In any event, most people don't realize this, especially at least people who are beginning or unfamiliar with beekeeping, is that many of the hives that starve do not actually starve and die in the middle of winter. They starve and die because they make it through winter. They have a population explosion where the queen starts laying eggs, but there's not enough forage yet to support that increased population. So when you see starvation of hives, it also often happens at the end of February or in March when the population is just exploding upwards, but the available forage is not meeting their demands. So this is Dave, and stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you on the next video.